Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know what today is? Monday Morning Chats with Sack and Sack is May. I hope that you guys had a great weekend. My weekend was good. I will say that Friday I was in the hairdresser majority of the day, which is really busy there. But other than that, I got a chance to celebrate one of my colleagues. She's having a baby, so I went to the baby shower. And everything about the baby shower was just so amazing. It was perfect, actually. Got a chance to go to a cookout, bomb cookout as always, and it was always great when I'm with family and friends. So that was cool, did that. Went to church, and honestly, it was a message that I needed to hear. And the message by Pastor Battle was called God Will Answer Your Prayers. And I'm like, wow, this was like on time. Like I was thinking about all these things and like prayer works. Like if you never prayed before, if you are a Christian and you haven't prayed, I'm telling you, like prayer works. But the thing is about prayer is that things that don't happen when you pray, right? You have to be faithful and keep praying nonstop, and then things will happen eventually. And so I just started to think about like what I wanted to talk about. And so last week I did my Monday morning chats in my office, and it was like around like 8:30 a.m. Like you're not gonna ever see me in the office at 8 a.m. Like there's just no way unless I really have to be there. And so the answer is no. I'm up around that time. Most likely I'm reading or doing something, but not in the office. And so I'm very thankful that I have a job that allows me to be very flexible. So I'm very grateful for that. So I just started to think like, wow, so last week, a week ago, I went to the Kalani concert. And I've been waiting for her to perform for a very long time. Like a very, very long time. And when I was just like doing a search, like, you know, different artists that I want to see in concert. And when I did a search and I realized, oh crap, like she's going to be in DC, I need to buy tickets. Now, originally, when I tried to buy tickets, like it was just sold out. And I was like, damn, I want to go. And then I kept searching. I was like on top of it, and I got the tickets. And so if I had to label this chat, it will be to live life on your own terms. Make sure that you do the thing that is best for you. Choose the best thing, not the second best thing. Choose the first best thing for you. And have friends that cover over you. So that's like what I want to talk about. And so when I got the tickets, I was like, crap, who would I go to the concert with, right? So I really wanted to see her. And like, I've been a fan for a while. And I missed her one concert before. And then I remembered that she was going on tour in 2020, but then the pandemic happened. And I was like, damn, I really want to see her. And so when I got the tickets, I was ecstatic. And I was like, damn, who's going to go with me? I don't know. And so I reached out to some friends and some family members like, hey, like, are you able to come? And I didn't get no response. And I didn't get mad about that. You know, I have friends that have like 10,000 unread text messages, like 20,000 emails that they haven't responded to. So I get it, right? And I was like, you know, I wonder if they're able to go. Then I realized that some people don't really know Kalani like that. Or if they do, they're not a fan to the extent where they will pay to go to her concert, right? And I get it. Like there's some people there that I mean like one of their songs, but I may not feel comfortable paying for a ticket to go see them perform, right? They may not just be it. They may not cut the cake for me, right? And so I was waiting and I was like, crap. I don't think nobody gonna go with me. Like, I don't know. But I still had the tickets. And I was like, well, looks like I'll be going to this concert by myself. And I reached out to one of my friends, like, hey, like, what are you doing Sunday? Like, hey, you want to go to this concert with me? I got tickets. Like, you want to go? My friend was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. But the thing that I realized, and this is the thing that I thought about, how many people wait for others to say yes to them? I mean, they don't say yes to themselves. Let's say that you want to go on this amazing trip. You've been thinking about it for a very long time. And you have an idea of who you want to invite. But let's say that you send an invitation out and you get no RSVPs. Are you going to delay the trip? Or are you going to tell yourself no because everybody else said no? Or are you going to book the damn trip and go? Let's say that there's a restaurant that you really like and you want to do like a get together with friends, or maybe it could be a girls thing, or maybe if you're a man, have all the guys come together and go to this restaurant. But let's say that people say, hey, maybe I don't like the food. Hey, I just don't want to go. Is that going to prevent you from trying it out yourself? Let's say that there's a movie out that you really like. And typically, it's pretty cool to go to the movies with someone. But let's say that no one is available. Are you going to wait till people become available so you can go? Or are you going to buy the damn ticket and just go by yourself and eat the popcorn and eat whatever movie food that is available? And so one thing I realized is that, this thing called life, we only have one shot at it. And we're not here for a long time, right? All of us are going to die eventually. We just don't know when. And so while you have time here on this earth, why don't you make the best out of it? Why don't you say yes to yourself first? And so what that means is, let's say that there is a restaurant that you want to go to. Even if you invite 10 people, even if you invite 20 people, even if you invite 30 people, if none of them don't go, that should not change your mind about going. Go by yourself. Go by yourself. If there's a movie that you would like to see, and of course, yes, it's always cool to hang out with folks, right? But let's say that no one is available, right? Everyone has lives, right? Everyone has lives. Book the ticket and go. Let's say there's a trip that you really want to go to, but you're like, man, I need some people to go. But let's say no one can't take off of work. Let's say they don't have the funds. Let's say they just don't want to go. Is that going to prevent you from going? Right? Don't delay your life because other people said no. Like, still do it. Still do it. And that's what I did with the Kalani. I was like, you know what? I got these tickets, and although I would love to have somebody come with me, but hey, some people don't know her music like that. And I don't expect people to say yes all the time. People can't say yes for various reasons. People can't say yes because they don't have the mental capacity to engage in what you're trying to invite them to. Some people can't say yes because they can't say yes to your invitation because they just don't want to go. That's okay. Some people can't say yes because maybe they want to, they're just not in right headspace. Some people may want to say yes, but they're just unsure about things. Some people just can't say yes because maybe they don't have the finances. Some people can't say yes because they're just not sure who they are. And it doesn't matter about what invitation you get to them. Like, I invite people to church, and some people may not be ready for that invitation. And it's not because they don't love God, right? That's not it. But some people may not be able to go because they're just not ready. But then it's a hard truth that no matter if you are planning something, there's people that would just never come. And that's a hard truth. But don't let that stop you from living the life that you want. Celebrating, having fun. For me, anytime that I accomplish something, no matter how big or how small, I take myself out to dinner. And sometimes I don't mind inviting folks, but I don't have the expectation as to, well, I'll only go out if these people come. No, I'm still going to go out. I'll say, hey, I'm going here to get some food and some drinks. Hey, if you like to come, meet me here at this time. And it's like, hey, they can come. Hey, they don't not. Hey, maybe they can't. Maybe they just don't want to. And that's absolutely okay. But I've learned to just live life on my own terms and say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this for me. Whoever else comes, that's absolutely great. I'm going out of town for my birthday. I was like, I already knew like I wanted to go somewhere. I picked a spot. It's going to be a girls trip. I sent it out to folks and I was like, hey, love for you to come. I told my cousins like, hey, I saw some of my cousins a couple weeks ago. Well, actually last month at one of my cousins' birthday party, like, hey, save your funds if you would like to go. If you're able to go, hey, I'm going to such and such place the week before my birthday. And some cousins were like, hey, you know, that's fun. Whoever goes, and who don't, I'm still going. My cousins know me that, hey, no matter what, I'm going. Like, if everyone says no, I can't go, that's fine. I'm going. And I'm going to have a bomb-ass time, like bomb time. But I've learned that, hey, I'm living life on my own terms. Like, I'm going to always do the thing that's best for me. And I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me yes, for me to say yes to myself. I'm going to always tell myself yes. And everybody else's yeses, they are secondary. Like, I would never depend on somebody's yes for me to tell myself yes. No, I'm going to tell myself yes. Once I made up in my mind that, hey, I am going here for my birthday, that was an automatic yes. And then I shared it with people that I wanted to join me on this trip. They could say yes, they could say no. It's absolutely fine. I had a girlfriend that purchased a house last year and she was excited. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so excited for you. And I was like, hey, when's the housewarming? Like, this is a celebration. Like, you need to celebrate yourself. Like, this is really dope. And it's a new bill. And I was like, listen, I'm so proud of you. Like, I remember you talking about the process. Like, this is something worth celebrating. And she was like, you know, I thought about it, but then I thought about people's work schedules and how I live too far and whether or not people will come. And I said, but this is a celebration for you. Like, if they come, they come. But choose you first. Like, this is about you. This is about you. So say yes to yourself. Say yes. Say yes. So this is a vulnerable moment for me right now. So I remember growing up where I'm not going to say my happiness, but yeah, I will say some of my happiness was contingent upon if a certain person in my life said yes to attending events for me. And that person happened to be my older sister. And so growing up, it felt really cool to have an older sister, right? And even though we have an estranged relationship now, still love, there's no love lost. And I remember, like, you know, growing up, having birthday parties, having events, saying like, hey, like, I can have more fun if this person says yes to come into my event. And it was like that for years for me. Like, I remember graduating from high school, came to the graduation when the graduation was over, had a graduation party for high school. And it was my idea, like, hey, my family and my friends are here, but yo, if my big sister is here, that'd be pretty dope, right? That'd be pretty dope. So my happiness was somewhat contingent upon her saying yes to coming, right? And so I just remember, like, different events that I had, and I was like, yo, if she come, like, this would be cool. Like, this would be really cool just to have her there. I didn't care about the gift. I didn't care about that. I just wanted her to be there. And so I thought about it for a while, and I was like, Dad, like, why do I have to wait for her to say yes for me to have a good time? And I remember my aunt for my graduation party for law school, like, it was a big graduation party in Philly. I had over 100 people there. And I remember my aunt, she came in, like, this is the aunt that she can cook. She's like, Bob the Builder. Bob the Builder. Like, she can do electrical work, she can paint, like, all, like, she's just like all in one auntie. And I remember that morning of my party, and I wrote something on my Facebook page because I was reaching out to my sister to see if she can come. And I was like, damn, like, this is like a really big accomplishment for me. Like, and I really hope that she can come. And I was contingent my happiness was somewhat contingent on if she said yes. And I kept thinking like, man, if she doesn't say yes, I'm not going to have as much fun. And so I remember my aunt, when I made that post, like, Dad, it's crazy that some people can't celebrate you. And I made that post on Facebook. Oh my God, it was almost 10 years ago. And my aunt said, why are you worried about that? We here to celebrate you. We here to celebrate you. Don't worry about that. And then as I got older, I was like, okay. And we had the same, me and the same aunt had the same conversation the beginning of this month. And she was like, you about to be 10 years out of law school. And she said, you should plan a trip. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll talk to some of my law school girlfriends. She was like, well, if they don't go, still go somewhere. She was like, I travel abroad by myself. And it was fine. But then I remember having this conversation with my sister. Something prompted her in 2018 to call me while I was at my job. And she made a comment about our relationship and, went into some details about things. And I was candid with my response to her. And I said, for years, like, I really wanted you to just be there. And I was sad, like, I would never tell anybody, but I was sad, like, Dad, like, I thought that because you wasn't there, the party wasn't as it was supposed to be. Like, it was supposed to be better because you was there. Like, I wanted you to be there. That's how much I value you as a person. But I said, now, to be honest with you, I realize I can't do that because I'm only hurting myself. I'm only letting myself down. And I had to learn how to manage my expectations when it comes to you and when it comes to everybody else. But then I realized that throughout the years, you ain't going to show up anyway. And so as a result, it's okay if I don't invite you. That's absolutely okay. Because I'm saying yes to myself because I already know I'm not going to be there. Again, she didn't want to come. That was it. And I know that. Like, if you want to go into detail about it, I would say, hey, I need a drink. But nah, I don't need a drink for that conversation. I could have a glass of water with ice and I could just tell you. And I was like, but that's absolutely okay. And so from that conversation, I still struggle with it. Like, wow, do I have to wait till someone says yes? And I was like, no. And so this birthday is different. Like, yeah, I want to say yes to this. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to always say yes to myself. Always say yes. When it comes to even down as going to the mall. If I want to buy a new outfit, I'm going to say yes to myself and go. I'm going to just do it because I want to live life on my own terms. We don't have long here on this earth. And so I want to make sure that everything I do is because I want to do it. Everything that I do is because I said yes to it. That's it. And so are you waiting for people to tell you yes? Don't wait. Just do it. Just do it. What else? I think the next thing is like choosing the first best thing for you, not the second best because something else is left over. Like, do what you want. Like, if it's something that you want and it's your first best choice, go for it. And so I remember, around this time last year, I was told that the law school that I work at now, that they'll be hiring. And at this time last year, I was a fellow. I was going to my second year as a fellow at the University of Baltimore School of Law. And so for those that don't know, a fellowship is, from the academia standpoint, it's a contract job for 3 years or 2 years, just depending on what institution that you're at. And the goal is to mold you into this great professor, teacher, so that way you can go in the market for other jobs. Now, the one thing about academia is that you have to be ready to go anywhere, right? If there's a law school in West Virginia, there's a law school in Washington State, California, and you apply, like, you got to be ready to go where the job is at. And so prior to the beginning of last year, like I had a conversation with God first, and I was like, God, I want to teach very bad. However, I do not want to travel very far from my job. Like I travel all through my education, like pursuing my education. Got a bachelor's degree in Northeastern Pennsylvania, got a law degree in Michigan, went back to school to get a master's in Baltimore. I like the DMV area. I'm not just ready to just get up and just uproot my life to somewhere that I have no connections with besides my job. I want to be close. And I was like, I do want UDC. I just don't know if they want me. I just don't know if they'll hire, because that's the thing. Like academia, they have to hire. They have to have positions available. And usually with academia, it's hard because some people keep their jobs until they roll over, until they make the decision to retire. And so I was just like, I hope my time come. I hope somebody retire. I hope somebody like go to another job. Like I'm just waiting. And so last August, I found out about this position. So UDC was my first choice. And I found out about this position, and I was like, crap, I'm going to my second year, my fellowship. I don't have as much experience with teaching, but I do have some experience. And I was like, I'm not sure, but hey, I'm going to go after this because this is my first choice. If they don't hire me, at least I can say I tried. Failure means not to try. And so you never know what you can get out in life until you actually go for it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to just go for it. It's my first choice. Why not? First love, first choice. I'm going after it. And I got hired. And so it just made me think, like, why don't you go after your first choice in everything in life? And so I prayed about it. I was happy about the position. And then moving forward, May of this year, well, actually, March of this year, I was like, God, I do want a new car. I had a Dodge Charger for 6 years. Love the car. And everyone would say, like, Sakina, you're classy, but your car looks like a drug dealer car. Like, what made you choose this? Me, I like to drive fast. That's just one thing people may not know about me. I love to drive fast, but I also love teddy bears. So it's kind of, it doesn't make sense, but that's the way it is. And I remember having this car for 6 years. Love my car. Like, me and my Charger, we went everywhere. But I was like, that wasn't my first choice. It was a great choice, but it wasn't my first choice. And during the time that I purchased my Charger, I was living in an apartment. And me personally, I was against having a foreign car and living in an apartment. I was like, I just wanted to make sure it made sense to me. And some people do it. Some people have luxury cars and live in apartments. That's fine. But for me, I was like, I want to focus on getting my house first. Once I get my house first, once I get things in order, then I can get the car that I want. And the car that I wanted was a Lexus. That was like always my dream car. I always wanted one. But I knew that I wanted the interior to look a certain way. And so in March, I just started looking, and I just kept looking. And I was like, okay, I don't see it yet. These are nice, but these are not my first choice. And then I want to say the end of April, I found the car that I purchased, and I had it shipped from Kentucky. And I was like, this is it. This is the car. And it was my first choice. And everything about it screams Sakina. Like my car my new car that I have, I named it Peace. I didn't tell anybody besides my brother that I was trying to find a new vehicle. And I was talking to him because my brother, we're like best friends, and we talk to each other about almost everything. And I was like, as far as like budget wise, like how much is the going rate for these type of cars? Because he's in that line of business. And I was like, I'm going to budget accordingly. This is what I want. And I got my car Memorial Day weekend. And I was like, wow, it feels good when you pick your first choice. Like, it feels good knowing that, hey, there were other choices out there, but this was my number one. And that's what I want across the board. My number one job, number one car, number one partner, all those things, I want that to be my first choice. I don't want to have to lay down and say, man, I wish I could have waited. Like, I wish I could have got something better, because I know something is better out there. And that's something I don't want to live with. As far as the schools, Bloomsburg University was my first choice. Cooley wasn't my first choice. However, I went there because they gave me an opportunity. So I made the best out of it. University of Baltimore, that's the only graduate tax program that I applied to. That was my first choice. And so it just made sense. It just made sense that, hey, I'm going to do what's best for me. And I'm going to make sure whatever is best for me has to be my best choice. It has to be my number one choice. Doesn't mean that it's perfect, but it has to be my best choice, right? And that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Like, this is a me season for me. I'm doing everything that makes me feel good. Everything. If I want to get up on a Sunday, go to church, and then get crabs, I'm going to do that. If I want to go get wine because it's Tuesday after a long day, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do whatever it takes that makes me happy. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been practicing this concept for a while, but it's at an all-time high right now. Hey, I like massages. I'm going to make sure that I include that in my budget so that way I can get massages on a consistent basis. I'm going to do whatever is best for me, my well-being. This glow, I don't want anything or anyone to interfere with that. And no, I don't have no foundation on. Like, that's exactly how I feel. I'm living life on my own terms. I'm praying to God even more. And I'm just grateful for what's to come. The one thing about, so the next thing is about, having friends that cover over you. And me, I pray, right? Pray to God faithfully, go to church, read my Bible. And prayer works, right? Prayer works. I have a prayer closet. And I think like yesterday's sermon was like, wow, I need to go in my closet again. The one thing I've learned in life is that at this time in my life and like people that I'm close with, this is like a real serious time for us. I have some friends that still figuring out who they are. I have some friends that are grieving, whether it's over a loss of a parent, whether it's over a loss of a relationship, whether it's divorce or just a relationship that just did not work. I have friends and family that are just grieving over life and they're just waiting and wondering when will life get better. I have friends that are trying to find that one for them. I have friends that are trying to conceive and it's difficult for them. I have friends that have children and it's tough for them. I have friends that are co-parenting and it's difficult for them. I have friends that are just enjoying life. I have friends that struggle with self-love. I have friends that don't even give themselves grace. I have friends that are going through anxiety, depression, and these can be family or friends that are going through all these things. And the thing I ask is saying like, hey, did I pray for them today? Right? And because I understand and because like I'm emotionally aware, I understand that like showing up looks different for everybody. And I know about this whole thing about like, hey, making sure that you say yes to yourself. But I have friends right now that can't say yes to themselves. And it's not because they don't want to. They just don't know how, right? They don't know how because they have so many things that they are going through and they're just still trying to manage. And so I've learned to be compassionate, give compassion, and to also show grace. And so, but yesterday's sermon, I was like, Dad, my friends, we're all going through some type of thing. Maybe we are happy right now, but we're still waiting for something. Or maybe we got everything, and just because someone's house looks beautiful on the outside, you don't know what they're going through when they close the door. So just because you see someone on social media that's smiling, that's just happy, you don't know what they're going through. And so I just realized like, hey, this is a time where everybody's going through something. Some people are happier than others. Some people may have things that they have going on in their life and they're content, right? And you have some people that just like, hey, I'm still trying to get it together. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be 40 years old, still trying to figure out life. You could be 50 years old, still trying to figure out life. No judgment at all. But I know that there's some things that we can tell our bestie to, right? We could tell our bestie like, hey, these are the things that we're going through. But there's some things that we just can't tell people, right? And it's not about being secretive. It's just nobody's business. And those are the conversations that people probably have with God. Like, God, you only know this. Like, there's some things that only me and God talk about. I'm not telling my best friends. I'm not telling my friends. I'm not telling my colleagues. I'm not doing none of those things. But then I realized, like, hey, the things that maybe my friends only speak to God to, like, they still need covering over that. Because maybe they're in a waiting period or waiting season. Maybe they've been waiting for years for a breakthrough. It could be financially, spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to just pray for them. And so I got in my prayer closet yesterday and I was like, God, I pray for all my friends that may appear to be okay, but deep down inside they're struggling. I pray for my friends that only talk to you about some of the problems that no one else don't know about. I pray that you cover them. And what I mean by covering is that, God, the moment that they open their eyes and the moment that they lay their feet on solid ground, I pray that you cover them from that day moving forward. I pray that you cover them the moment that they walk out the house. I pray that you cover them when they are at their employment. I pray that you cover them even when they step out their employment to get lunch. Because anything is possible. Anything can happen. I pray that you cover them when they are coming home from work. Like this whole idea of, getting home, it's not common no more. Some people are going to work and never coming home. I tell my friends, even if they live 2 minutes away, 5 minutes to me, hey, please let me know when you get home. Please let me know. Because even if you live 5 minutes away, even if you live 2 minutes away, you just never know. And so I was like, God, I pray that you cover them throughout the day, throughout the week. I pray that whatever burdens that they give to you, I pray that you lay it at the altar. Because they may not be able to do that. I pray that you soften their heart. I pray that they learn to give their self-compassion. I pray that they learn to tell their self yes. I pray that they give their self grace. Because we are all a work in progress. Like, there are some things that I pray to God about, and it's just nobody's business. It's in my prayer box. Nobody's business. Nobody's business. But there's prayers that I did pray about, and I did list them in my prayer closet, and they answered. I was like, God, if you did it before, you popped to do it again. Yes. But I also did this. I was like, I know that you're going to bless me, right? I already know that. But I also said this in my prayer. I was like, God, I always say, God, bless those that are around me. My friends, my family, my colleagues, whatever it is that they have been praying for, I pray that you give it to them. But I also said, God, hey, these are the things that I pray for. And these are the things I want. I know that everything happens on your time, but not my time. However, if I don't get the things that I pray for yet, because it will happen, I pray that you bless the person to the right and to the left of me. Because I know that when you bless them, eventually it's going to happen for me. But in the meantime, if it doesn't happen for me, please bless the person to the right and the left, or both. Because I'm going to still clap for them until it's my turn. And that's what I said. I was like, God, because I want you to bless the people that I encounter. Bless my friends, bless my family members, bless my colleagues, bless those I have an interaction with, whether it's once or twice. I still want them to be successful. Bless my enemies. Bless the people that don't like me. I still want you to prosper. You may not like me for what? I'm bomb, but it's cool. You don't gotta like me. That's straight. Because I tell myself yes, and I tell myself that I'm amazing. And I know God knows who I am. God knows my heart. So I still want good for those that may not like me. You don't like me, that is your loss, Bill. It's fine. But I'm still praying for those things. And so I just pray that to all my friends and all my family members, you may be in my prayer closet and they never know. And guess what? I ain't going to never tell you. But I pray for those things. Like, I pray for covering. I pray for healing. It's okay to just have some things where only you and God knows. Like, I tell my friends, like, if they reach out to me like, hey, Sakina, I just been going through a hard time. I understand. You don't even got to give me an explanation. I understand. And I'll get, thanks, Sakina. That's cool. I had a friend share with me that, hey, I suffer from anxiety, so sometimes I just can't come around or go to events with a lot of people. I understand. Hey, that's absolutely okay. That's absolutely okay. It's okay. It's okay. And so that's all I have. So I would just say, one, Make sure that you are telling yourself yes. Don't wait for other people to say yes to you. Go out, book the trip, take yourself out to dinner, go to the movies, do whatever you want for you. Don't wait for others. Do it for you. Like, have fun for you. I went to a wine tasting yesterday. I had to pick up some wine, so why not taste the wine? I did it. It was bomb. And I got some good red sangria. So dope. So do that for you. Say yes to you. The second thing is, make sure that whatever you choose, make sure it's your best choice. It's your first choice. Don't say, yeah, I'm just going to get this because the thing that I want is not available because I don't got time for wait. I don't got time to wait. The worst thing you could do is just wake up and say, man, I wish I would have waited. I wish I would have waited. I wish that I could have been so happy with myself in this waiting period, whatever it is, until I got the best thing for me. Make sure you get the best thing for you, whatever that may look like. Get the best thing. Doesn't mean it has to be perfect. Get the best thing for you. And then the last thing is cover over your friends, your family members. Pray for them. You don't gotta tell them. Just pray for them. If somebody says like, hey, can you pray for me? I'm actually going to do that. And like I said, there's people that's in my prayer closet that just don't. I ain't gonna tell you. Just know I'm praying for you, right? There's family members in my prayer closet. They don't even know. And the prayer, and it's so crazy because I wrote this prayer, one of these prayers for one of my family members, and the prayer got answered. Like, I prayed about it the end of last year. Prayer got answered this year. So I know prayer works. I know it. And so I hope that if there's something that you're struggling with, just know that you're human. You are human. You are human. That's all I have. I hope and pray that you guys have a great Monday. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Choose you. Choose the things that make you happy. Love yourself. Give yourself some grace. Spend time with you. Figure out what makes you happy. And it is Monday, so I would like to shout out to all the dope men out there. Like, you are amazing. You are great. You are phenomenal. And, like, you're just dope. And it's football season, so I'm super petty. Super petty during football season. And especially when it comes to the Cowboys. So, yeah, if you follow my social media, you just know that I am Petty LaBelle. So I'm excited about football season. Excited. If you're in the DMV area, you may see me at the Buffalo Wild Wings. Who knows? I travel. I look at the football games on Sunday faithfully. So that's all I have, guys. Have a great Monday. And just never forget, like, you are so freaking amazing. Like, you're so amazing. Take care. Now it's time for me to do some work. But take care, guys, and have a great Monday.